Okay, I have made 3 small improvements to get to this footer for the social media icon. So basically all of those issues are fixed now. The distance between the icons are exactly the same. The height of the icons are the same. And in order to fix that, I made 3 little changes. For the YouTube, I needed to select a different icon altogether. So the YouTube Play had lower height than the others, so I went with the YouTube Square. So basically what I did was I literally changed the class of YouTube from YouTube Play to YouTube Square. The second change, I replaced Instagram from the beginning with Facebook, and I brought the Instagram all the way to the end because it seems like Instagram has some extra margin on the right side, which is not causing any problems if it's all the way at the end of the line on the right side. And finally, I have added a text align right for all of the footer icons that is ensuring that they are going to be aligned on the right side of their own 40% of space that they have from the whole width of the screen. So the result of all of those changes is what you see on the screen now. And I think this is a good place to stop for the footer. So this is a good footer, I would say, for now. The next step would be to add links to these guys so that when they're clicked, they're connecting us to the social media profile related to each one of those. And that part is going to be very easy. We just add an A tag, an anchor tag with the href equal to the URL that's for every profile on every social media platform. So that's for the footer part. And now let's scroll all the way back up and let's see what we want to do with the header now. So we can get rid of the placeholders. We do want to keep this Lotus Flower Bakery on the top, maybe change the font for that, and maybe add some buttons over here that is allowing us to navigate between the different pages. We are probably going to have 2 or 3 other pages for the menu, the about page, and the order page. Order page definitely, because we already have a button down here to send us over there too. So a few navigation buttons would be a good idea. And finally, a beautiful font for the main H1 title for this. So let's go ahead and remove the unnecessary parts and maybe add the buttons up here. Let's see how it goes. So I am going to remove the H1 and the HR. So I only have this H1 over here. After that, we are going to have nav for the navigation buttons. So it's basically going to be a parent for all of those buttons that I want to add to help us navigate to other pages. We can go ahead and use parts of the design that we had for the buttons underneath here. If you remember, for the buttons down here, we used ID equal order, and then we had a particular type of design for those. Now, that's one thing to do. Now, what you can do is to bring one of these to the top, and then maybe I have 3 pages. Let's say about, menu, and order. And instead of an ID, I'm going to give them a class, because I want to be able to select all of them at once and design them all at the same time. I will call this class nav for each particular button. We'll copy that and paste it for the other buttons as well. Now, my header H1 and my header nav are going to be inline. So let's go to CSS. Make sure that my header H1, comma, header nav are going to be display inline block. Let's make sure that they are having a vertical align of middle let's make sure they have a width of maybe 40%, because we're going to add some margins and stuff around them too. And after that's done, header nav is going to have a text align right, because I want my buttons to be aligned on the right side of the page, on the top right side. And then I can go ahead and select my classes. Now, when you want to select a class, you do not use the pound sign, you use the dot. So the dot nav is basically selecting all those individual buttons that I have over here. So dot nav refers to the first A tag, anchor tag, the second one, and the third one. And I want the buttons to be very similar in terms of design to the buttons I created earlier for the order. So basically, I want to copy most of what's here. The only thing I want to change is probably the colors. So I want to go, of course, the background color should be different because I am on a dark background color on the top of the page. So maybe on the top, the golden rod would be a good color. Maybe we will see if that's the case. For the color, we can go with white at the moment. I want to keep the padding the same. I want to keep the text decoration the same, the border radius the same. I don't want to have any margin tops. Maybe we will add some margin in general because we don't want those buttons to be touching each other, but not too big. So just 0.5 at the moment. Let's take a look. Let's see what we have as a result of all these changes. Okay, beautiful. So we have the buttons over here. We have to make some changes in terms of the font family and everything. They're not following the same font family here because this was part of a parent with the font family we wanted. We can go ahead and use the same font family for everything we have up here too. So we have the buttons here. We have the name of the business here, and maybe a few more changes. First, let's work on the font. Remember the font we had for the parent of the other buttons was this. So I'm going to give the same font for now to my header, which is going to affect all of the children, meaning the name of the business and the buttons. Okay, the other one was, I think, the font size. Let me double check that as well. It wasn't here. It was not over here. Maybe in my main P it was 1.7 for the main P. And we can try the same over here. Let's take a look. All right, it's beginning to take some shape now. It's a bit too big for this particular header. I believe we should make the font size lower than what it is and push the buttons further to the right side. That would probably be a better idea. And maybe also add some padding to or margin to the left of this H1, or maybe even change the font family of this Lotus Flower Bakery on the top here completely to match what we have on the logo probably. So those are some of the changes we can do to finalize a first version for the header.